Hey Fragrance fam, it's Izzy and I'm here in the AFI Project Lab to talk to you guys a little bit about air fresheners, the market, and how you can go about selling air fresheners based on what kind you're making. It's no secret that we've seen a big boom in the home fragrance industry lately. It expands just beyond candles. Obviously, candles are still a very beloved element to any home, whether it's for decor, fragrance, or just atmosphere building. That being said, candles don't exactly fit into everybody's lifestyle. If you have a bunch of kids or you have pets or just generally you don't like having an open flame in your house, like if you live in an apartment or a dorm, there's lots of reasons why you might not want to use a candle for home fragrance. And that is where air fresheners come in. Now, air fresheners are super versatile. They're easy to use. You can use them on all kinds of surfaces around the home, in your car, in your office, and that plays a part into why they become so popular. Creating a signature scent both on yourself and in your space is essential to today's fragrance market. So let's talk about oil versus water-based air fresheners today. They're two very different products that do essentially the same thing with very different markets. So let me go ahead and start by talking about oil air fresheners. So here I have two oil-based air fresheners, and when I say oil-based, I mean that all the ingredients in here are oil soluble. They're either the fragrance oil themselves plus a solvent or a base oil, and there's no water, there's no alcohol, there's no additional ingredients, it's just the oil ingredients. On their own, fragrance oils can be a little bit thick, they can be a little bit heavy. It's difficult to spray them directly from a nozzle, not to mention the safety and IFR limit implications about putting 100% fragrance oil in a spray bottle. So you'll need a solvent to both thin them out and make them safe to use. And then there's also additional ingredients that manufacturers can add in there to do some actual odor counteractant as opposed to just covering a bad odor. So you'll put essentially a raw material in there that'll capture bad odors. Usually these are proprietary blends, but regardless, the ingredient list on these is usually pretty short, most of the time just being fragrance and the solvent. So when it comes to making an oil-based air freshener, you are going to want to look for ingredients in bulk. A lot of the solvents that you would use to make an oil-based air freshener with aren't really just available on Amazon or something you can pick up from the corner store. You want to be searching around different chemical supply stores. Definitely stick with something that's local to you to cut down on shipping costs. But because you're buying in bulk, you will be spending a little bit more upfront to start making your oil-based air fresheners. But they're also quite small and they are great for wholesaling. So while you're buying in bulk, you're also selling in bulk, so you can very easily be turning a profit on your very large initial investment. So let's say you've got your solvent picked out, you know what you're gonna make. From there, you need to start looking at your fragrance oil options. Now, typically in a concentrated oil-based air freshener like this one, fragrance concentrations range anywhere from 5 to 15%. It really does depend on how you're marketing the fragrance itself and also the IFR limits of the fragrance you're using. Typically, because these are marketed to cover up smoke odors or just bad odors in a car, just really icky odors, and not as just a general way of like fragrancing your house. These are very, very concentrated. They're marketed as such. And that's why you can find them in like specialty shops and gas stations. They are looking for something that's very strong, that stays around and sticks to surfaces for a very long time. As for the types of fragrances you're going to want to be looking for, if you're making a bunch of these little air fresheners and you're hoping to wholesale them or sell them at a reasonable price for the consumers who are looking for them, typically you'll see fragrances that appeal very much to a mass market. Baby powder is one of our best-selling fragrances, and it's one of the best-selling fragrances for a lot of the brands that do make these oil-based air fresheners. You'll also see fruity blends, tropical blends, but all the fragrances that you'll see in them are very strong. For example, that's why I grabbed our Palo Santo and Sandalwood fragrance today. It's specially formulated for air fresheners and diffusers. This would be an example of a fragrance that would do really well in both an oil-based air freshener and water-based ones, which we'll talk about in a minute. Anything that has that rich, smoky, and somewhat spicy like oud accord to it does really well in these oil-based air fresheners. And they're relatively affordable. You can buy a little 1 ounce or 1.5 ounce bottle like this for about $5 to $6 or $7, just depending on the brand, depending on what fragrance they use to make it. And they typically wholesale for about $2, meaning you have a profit margin capability of like 60% in there. So it really just depends on what raw materials you yourself are using to make them, as well as the packaging that you use. Typically they're packaged in glass, whether it be clear or typically dark amber or black bottles or aluminum bottles, just because the raw materials that are inside don't really play nice with a lot of plastics, which is one of the downfalls of these oil-based air fresheners. They do really well in a car. They make a car smell great. But if you spray them on like your car air vents, they can cause some staining. They can kind of degrade the plastic a little bit, which doesn't mean they're not safe to spray in the air. They are. It's just a chemical reaction between the fragrance and the solvent itself on any plastics. But I digress. Another downfall with these air fresheners is that they can leave stains on fabrics. One of their benefits is that they stick around for a long time, but they stick around for a long time because they're clinging to any fabric that you sprayed on. Now, some customers are looking specifically for that. They want the fragrance to stick onto their surfaces forever to counteract smoke odors, for example. But for another audience, that might not be the most ideal choice for scenting their home. So that is about all there is to oil air fresheners. Let's move on to water-based air fresheners. So I have 2 water-based air fresheners here. These are some ones that we've made here in the AFI Project Lab. And when I say water-based, I really only say that because water is typically the primary ingredient in these air fresheners. That doesn't mean they're just water and fragrance. A lot of times they'll have additional solvents in them, or they'll have perfumer's alcohol in them, but water makes up the bulk of the formula, which makes them a lot lighter, which makes them a lot easier to spray and have them disperse throughout the air. It makes it so they have less capacity to stain surfaces, and also pretty cost effective to make as well, because a lot of the formula is water. And naturally, y'all know that oil and water don't mix, and clarity, like a clear, stable product with a water-based air freshener like this one, is absolutely essential. A lot of customers will look at an air freshener that is kind of milky or opaque and think that there's something wrong with it. So the reason we include alcohol or ethers, which is another type of chemical, into an air freshener like this is to help the fragrance oil blend into that water base very seamlessly, so you'll get a clear product that is shelf stable, it won't separate over time, and also it will project into the air very nicely. So you can get a full room scented very quickly, very easily with water, ether, alcohol, and any additional ingredients. Now, naturally, that means if you're not using a pre-made air freshener base, you're gonna wanna potentially think about putting a preservative in a water-based air freshener. Some popular options would be Optifen Plus, Dermaben 2, but it really depends on where you're located and what your preservative needs are. And of course, on that topic, I did mention that you can get a pre-mixed base. A pre-mixed air freshener base makes it really, really easy for you to just measure, mix, and pour. We have our air freshener base here at AFI. We've used it in many videos before, and you can find it on our web store. It's very cost effective compared to a lot of other bases you can find online right now. It contains a mix of water. It has a plant-based ether in it to help the fragrance blend into the water base really well. And it's all taken care of in terms of preservative and any extra ingredients you would need to keep a stable formula. So that can cut down on a super long purchasing list of all the things you would need to make your own base and to hand blend everything together at one time. So if you haven't tried it already, I definitely recommend checking it out. And as for fragrance usage rate in your air fresheners, it's really going to depend on what your market is and what their intended application is for, depending on whether it's just going to be a general room freshening spray, or if you want customers specifically to use it on linens and sheets and laundry. For example, if you're making a water-based air freshener that's supposed to be used as a pillow mist, you might want to keep that fragrance on the lower side, just because customers will be putting their face and like their nose right next to their pillows. You don't want to be overpowering. You don't want to potentially cause any skin irritation problems if they're overloading their pillows with this spray. Whereas on the other hand, if you were just marketing it as a general room spray and you just want customers to use it as home fragrance for their entire room, you can bump up your usage rate. Just once again, remember you're sticking with IFR category 10B for whatever fragrance you're using, and keep in mind the capability of your base. Our base can take up to 25%. It's gonna vary just based on what kind of fragrance you're using. I would definitely keep an eye out for any of the fragrances we have on our web store that are marked specifically for use in air freshener and diffuser. These are gonna diffuse really well, blend into our base really well. And as for the actual types of fragrances to use in these, I would say it's a lot broader than what you might find in an oil-based air freshener. You can kind of tailor the fragrances you pick to like your own niche. So if you have a very rustic brand, you can go for rustic fragrances. If you have a very trendy and modern brand, you can go for clean and sleek fragrances. Once again, our Palo Santo and Sandalwood fragrance would do well in oil-based air fresheners, but it also does really well in water-based air fresheners. That's what I have in here right now. It does have those deep incense notes that'll really stick around and leave the room smelling really nicely, but it's much more high-end than what you might find in an oil-based air freshener. So it really does kind of suit both markets. Other than that, if you also make candles, I would encourage you to take many of the fragrances that you use in your candles and try them in air fresheners. That way customers have two ways to experience your fragrances in the products you're selling, and it gives customers who don't always want to burn a candle the option to still enjoy their favorite scents that you offer. And finally, if you're just getting started out and air fresheners are kind of your introduction to the world of home fragrance production, stick with what you know, stick with what what might be best selling, I definitely recommend checking out our best sellers list on our web store. Just start with what you know will work and seriously consider who you're going to be marketing them to. Now, in terms of selling these, your profit margins are going to look a little bit different. The cost of production is going to vary much more wildly than what you would see in an oil-based air freshener market. The types of packaging you use will play a big role in it. If you're using very large, 16-ounce amber glass or even plastic bottles, the price of packaging is going to go up, and the price of making each bottle will go up as well because you're using more raw material. You could also go with oil-resistant plastic bottles like these and just opt for packaging that looks a little bit luxury with elements on the sprayer, add your nice label to them. And of course, you could also go with any other option in between based on what your personal brand image is. So it's difficult to set a precise price point for you in terms of what you should charge for your water-based air fresheners or pillow mists or linen sprays, just because so much of it comes down to your packaging, your fragrance choices, and your own personal brand. If you opt for a more luxury image, naturally you can end up pricing your products a little bit higher. Definitely take the time to break down all the costs of what your fragrance, your base or your ingredients, plus the packaging, plus any label costs, and of course your labor factored into there, and then try to gauge other similar products in the market and to see what price they're being sold at. For example, you can get like a little 4-ounce bottle of water-based air freshener in like plastic packaging like this for anywhere from like $7 to $10 or $11. And that will give you, based on what it's going to cost to make it, about a 50% margin. Whereas a big bottle like this, especially if it's coming from a luxury brand that already sells candles and other home fragrance products or lifestyle products, you could be looking to spend anywhere from $35 to $55 and have customers that continue coming back for more because they trust the name behind the fragrance. And of course, always keep in mind what kind of atmosphere the fragrances you're going to be picking for your air fresheners is. A little while ago, we talked about luxury candles and how you're selling a lifestyle and an atmosphere. The same goes for any home fragrance product. At the end of the day, you want to sell customers on the experience you're creating. So focus on where that fragrance is going to take the customers and what experience they can expect to get once they spray your air fresheners. So I hoped all that helped demystify air fresheners a little bit for y'all. So if you have any questions about making either of these kinds of air fresheners, definitely let us know or take a look at our catalog of DIYs that we've been posting over the years. And don't forget to check out our web store, afi-usa.com/shop. We have a bunch of new air freshener diffuser fragrances that we just added to our library that I think you're definitely gonna wanna check out, including this one right here. So that's it for today, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching, Fragrance Fam, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.